critters that you would see under the microscope. That's the idea. And the first thing that we kind of talk about are bacteria. There are three kinds. There's a Caucus and a Bacillus and a Spirillum. Which one is the round one, y'all? Remember that? The round one is called a Caucus, and it's, by the way, considered to be the most dangerous one. It's pathogenic. This is like Staphylococcus aureus, MRSA. You might have heard of this, methicillin-resistant Staph aureus. The idea in the hospital, they're constantly aspirating these syringes with all these medicines and antibiotics. Everything in the hospital is getting mildly immunized every day. So, when we talk about bacteria, there is a gel-like coating outside of the cell wall. What is this called? It is called a capsule. By the way, that's what helps a bacterium attach to your teeth, kind of this gummy stuff. And the idea is if they attach to your teeth and then they start metabolizing and they produce acid, they chew chunks out of your teeth. What is that? What is that chunk? What is that called? Making a what? It's called making a cavity, right? So that's kind of how, and these little fimbriae, the little hair-like bristles, that's what help the bacteria stay attached. What is the elongated hollow appendage used to transfer DNA to other cells? It's called a sex pilus. Stop flinging that tube around, right? That's what I'm talking about. Flagellum. Okay, true or false? Bacteria have a nucleus. Look down at the bottom of that list. Do they have a nucleus? No, it is called a nucleoid. It is an area of DNA, but it's not a nucleus because it does not have a double membrane around it. So once again, let's talk about the three kinds of bacteria: Caucus, Bacillus, Spirillum. Which one is the one that's rod-shaped, according to your book? It is the Bacillus. By the way, a lot of those are the friendly ones. Like if you read Lactobacillus acidophilus, Lactobacillus, what does lacto mean? What would lactate mean? Lactate. It's talking about milk, right? So these are milk bacteria. These set up household in your gut and help you have healthy intestinal lives. Vitamin B, vitamin K, a lot of the different vitamins are synthesized by bacteria in your gut. And that's why I really love the idea of eating a little bit of either yogurt or maybe sour cream every day to kind of keep these things colonized in your intestines. These are good guys, and I guess we can say guys, good critters. Spirillum, probably the most common one that you've heard of, is the syphilis organism. That's Treponema pallidum. The next one that I'm going to talk about is a green one that conjugates. It sexually reproduces, but it is actually an alga. What is the name of it? It's in a spiral formation. What is it called? It's actually the name of a jazz group. I kind of like this group. It's called Spirogyra. Pretty smooth sounding. I listened to that on U92 FM out of University of Memphis. U92. I do love that. It's one of my favorite things in life. It makes my life better. Listen to this. All eukaryotes, some may be eucellular. They include the algae. They photosynthesize. They may be protozoans, heterotrophic, meaning they eat other things, include the slime molds, which creep along the floor. Forest floor is a plasmodium. What am I talking about? Talking about protists. Everybody say protist. Everybody say protozoan. Everybody say protestin. We saw some funky examples of this in lab when we did aquarium funk. Pretty cool stuff spinning around, flying around in there. What do you call this big round algal colony that looks to me like the Death Star in Star Wars? What do you call this one? Everybody say what? Everybody say Volvox. And by the way, the little discs inside that look like the disc that's used to focus the laser beam on the side of the Death Star, those are just daughter colonies about to bust out of there, bust up out of there. All right, let's keep going. Let's talk about food vacuoles, pseudopodia, cilia, and flagella. If I was talking about an amoeba and I was talking about it using cytoplasmic streaming or moving kind of with blob-like action, what would I be talking about? Pseudopodia, cilia, or flagella? Say it again. It would be pseudopodia. Pseudo means false, podia means feet. Okay, let's keep going. Plasmodial slime molds. Okay, here's what I want you to associate it with a slime mold. Everybody say the word sporangium. A reproductive structure that produces spores by meiosis. Okay, let's talk about fungi next. Let's talk about fungi and let's talk about mycelia and hyphae. The body is called mycelium. Everybody say mycelium. Mycelium. And the individual strands are called hyphae. Everybody say hyphae. They reproduce by little wind-blown dots. Dots called spores. Everybody say spores. Okay. When we talk about a black bread mold, we say that the little puff ball that has the spores on it is called a zygospore. Everybody say zygospore. Listen to this. Listen to this right here. Listen to what I'm about to say here. These are just as familiar as black bread mold to most lay people. That would be us, because they include the mushrooms. What am I talking about now? I'm talking about the club fungi. Probably, I've said this before, and if I haven't said it, I should have said it. But my favorite place around Southaven, Mississippi to get fried up club fungi is at Dale's Restaurant on State Line Main Street. They've got the best fried club fungi. What do we call them really in real life? Mushrooms. They have some awesome horseradish sauce. Here's the only thing I'm telling you to do. They'll give you a big basket of them. Just make sure that you cut them down the middle. Let them cool down for a second, because if you bite into one of those bad boys right when they bring it to your table, I have suffered before because of this. They are very nicely hot. Let's talk about the anatomy of a club fungus. What do you call the upright, the stem part? What do you call that? It's called the stalk. What do you call the umbrella part, the top part? It's called the cap. And then under the bottom are the gills where the spores are located. What kind of spores are these called? These have a different name. They're not zygospores. They're not sporangio something. These are what? Basidiospores. Okay, so we identify club fungi with basidiospores. And true or false, a ringworm is a critter that should be gently dug out with a needle. It's false. It's not really a worm. It's actually a fungus growing in a circle. Fungi are weird. You know, we were talking earlier about some weird stuff that had to do with evolution. Fungi, they grow in a circle. Normally they do. Pop up in a circle. Weird. And they do that out of the ground, but they also do it on your body. They make a ringworm. Regular old athlete's foot spray will put the beat down on that. I've seen that happen before. Make sure your kids take a shower or a bath after they've been with the pets rolling around in the yard. Remember to do that. Oral candidiasis or thrush. True or false? That is a human fungal disease. Yes, that is true. It is also known to cause the fungal infection in females as well. So that includes our review of microbiology.